To Babble with Bronies. Howdy, howdy, everyone. Welcome to Babble with Bronies. This is us broadcasting from a Wednesday episode because I won't be here to broadcast this Saturday. So we always go to our substitute day. Um, why don't we get started? Shall we? Before I do, can everyone see and hear me okay? Good, 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 good. All right. What do I want to start out with? Why don't I start out with this story? Now, they've already made the big announcement that season 3 will be out in November, which isn't that much of a big shock. It's on this here website down at the bottom. Here's the link, as per usual. Season 3 will air this November on the Hub TV network, it says. First of all, called it, I know some of you weren't here earlier, but rewind to about 2 weeks ago when we reported on this, and what was it? That announcement on Facebook, it said, we're less than 30 days away from announcing it. So I'm going to make the call here now, folks. I'm going to call it on November 3rd. Why? If we use that Facebook thing as a reference, then 30 days from then was the September 20th. So that would be October 20th that they actually make the official announcement. If they make the announcement, let's assume that that day is when they, for lack of better terms, call it. Why do I guess November 3rd? Because if the TV Guide listing, or not necessarily TV Guide, but the Zap to It and other TV related places are going to call it, they have to have word of this about 2 weeks in advance. That's why I'm thinking it's going to be November 3rd. Could I be wrong? Of course. Could it be a little later? Again, yeah, I could be 100% completely wrong on this, but that's just my prediction. Take it as you see it. And lastly, in the news, I don't get to do this often, so I thought, you know what? I'm going to do it. For, howdy there, Death Pony. This Friday, for those of you who are not aware of what Brony State is, they do these movie nights on Friday and Saturday. On Friday and Saturday, they do a movie night. What they do is on Friday, they'll show the movies, and then the Saturday is an encore. What you get to do is, you, the audience, you put your name into their poll. You send your cast, or you send your vote in saying what movie you want to pick. You get 2 movies, A, B, and a pony episode. They show an A, they show a B movie, then they show they show the A movie, Pony Episode 1, B movie, Pony Episode 2, with an intermission in between Pony Episode 1 and the B movie. And anyway, what they do is they'll run their lottery on Friday or Saturday. They alternate. Check out episode 14 for some of the more nitty-gritty details when I interviewed them on that. But anyway, the A movie this week is Ghostbusters. The B movie is Yu-Gi-Oh! The Pyramid of Light. That was selected by none other than our own Mr. Ben, who isn't here today. He's our moderator, for those of you who don't know. I won't give away why he picked that. If you want to know, ask him. But it's a good reason. Pony Episode 1 is Read It and Weep, and Pony Episode 2 is A Friend Indeed. So, if you're not busy Friday nights at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, that's Universal Time Code -4, stop on by. Well, then why don't you just select the Pyramid of Light abridged series? Because I know he's done that Kuro Derpy. Of course, then it would only be about 30 minutes and not much of a B movie. Well, I might not be there to watch it. I will be thinking of that. I'm just going to be thinking um, a bridge series, Little Karibo, a bridge series, Little Karibo. And I'm just going to be quoting him incessantly. You know, like Joey does Jean-Claude Magnum. All right. Do we want to go to videos or art? Or wait, no, I've got a few announcements to make. That's right. One thing I want to bring up, folks, is I need to remind you of the 20-minute rule. Why? Because the place I'm in is notorious for false fire alarms. So I feel that it's probably a good thing if I remind you. The 20-minute rule on this show is, say I have to leave for something like a fire drill or false fire alarm. It's not a fire drill. Or I don't know, I just have to leave because of whatever reason. If I have to leave and after 20 minutes, if I'm not back, I know you'll probably leave earlier by then, and that's completely fine. Just hear me out on this. After 20 minutes, you the show is canceled. It's officially canceled, and we'll just pick up where we left off or start over something the next available broadcast time. To be honest, yes, I am expecting it to happen at some point. Probably not today since we just had one, but 2 false fire alarms in one day is not unheard of. But just keep that in mind. 20 minutes. After that, the show's canceled and we'll pick up where we left off later. All right, and one other thing. This one is for all you artists out there. I didn't... I probably did report on this earlier, but I know I didn't do a good job of it. Inky Notebook, the head of the Traveling Pony Museum, is looking for new artists. So, if you're interested in having your work displayed in her museum, check it out. I'll bring up her website here for you guys here. You can check the announcement right here. But here is the link. So like I said, if you're interested, it's on the front page. All the info's there. For all you artists who are interested in displaying your artwork in her museum, send her a message. I don't know if she's going to be picky or not. So I would still say send it in. Even if you think it might not go through, send it in. It doesn't hurt to try. All right, that does it for news and announcements. Now let's move on to the fun stuff, shall we? As I was about to ask, I should say, do you guys want to watch the videos first or go through the art first? Mike, that's a pretty broad statement. The fun stuff. Okay. I got one who doesn't care. No preference either. All right. Since I'm getting careless, or I guess since your responses are saying you don't care, we'll go into the art. Fair enough, Death Pony. The sole fact that you're here is still very appreciated. Speaking of Mr. Death Pony, why don't we start with his work, shall we? He gave us 2 of them, and they're all based upon Canterlot Gardens. That was earlier this weekend for those of you who might not be aware of it. And which one do I want to start out with? Oh, I'll go with this one. This one is yay! Yeah, check that out. What happened was a young. There's the link, by the way. The story behind this is Andrea Libman at the voice actors panel had a young girl in a Rainbow Dash outfit come up, and sure enough, the little girl went yay. Let's just put it this way, folks. Adorable. Just check for my name, Everlasting Joy. It's the same spelling, but there's no underscore. Just check it, the comments in there. And I know this is gonna kill me, but I just gotta know. Yeah,
That's good.
yeah. That's why I said I know this is gonna kill me, but I just gotta know. Do you have anything to say about that, Death Pony? Anything like interesting about it or whatnot? I know you said you're busy. I'm just while you're here kind of mentality. Fair enough. Fair enough. By the way, I'm testing out some new settings. I'm broadcasting on high. I'm trying to see if that gives a better. I'm testing the stream out, and I'm just making sure that this gives a better clarity for the text. I've been looking over some of the medium quality, and text is kind of blurry. But I see what you did there, Death Pony. All right, and this last one, I got the privilege of watching him draw. Oh, faff. Sorry about that. I hate that. This one is Hoof Warmers. Yeah. It's Twilight Sparkle cosplaying as um, Tara Strong, who, if you don't get the background reference, there's a link. Tara Strong cosplayed as Twilight Sparkle. So now what we need is Twilight cosplaying as Ms. Strong, cosplaying as Twilight, cosplaying as Ms. Strong. It's a cosplay inception, people. Or cosception, as I suppose it should be called. this this one, in my humble opinion, just once again highlights just how good he is. The detailing. I like what he did with the socks. I know when I was there, he kind of made a, I guess I'll say a complaint that, the socks she was wearing were striped. And I can only imagine that that's a bit of a turd to draw. So the sole fact that he went the extra mile and actually made through the stripes, props to you, Death Pony. Mad props. And by the way, that wig is awfully cute on Twilight. I don't care what anyone says. All right, let's just keep going down the list. Yeah, I did get it. Good, 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 good. This next one is by another recurring artist we've had on here. This one is called The Dawn by Nasty Lady. For those of you who weren't here when we showcased our first piece of work, here's a link. We showcased Das Parfum on here. It was a steampunk version of Rose Luck. It was a really gorgeous piece, and this is another one of her, another sampling of her work. For those of you who haven't heard of her, she does a lot of steampunk ponies. So if ponies, steampunk, or just really nice artwork, really nice pony artwork, I guess, is your thing, look into her. I highly recommend her. And one of the things I want to note about this drawing in particular, I love her use of lighting and focal points. You're pretty much drawn not to Celestia, but to the sun. I love it when artists do that. And these next ones are some new artists to our list. This next one is called MLP Discord by Sao Shin. Sorry about that. Here is the link. Now this one, what I really have to give him props to is his. It's the second time I've said that. I'm sorry. One of the things that I really like about this one is also the lighting, but what I like mostly about it is the reflection on the bottom of the lighting and how it reflects on the bottom of the sphere Discord is laying on, or resting on, I suppose. In his description, he says he just watched it and was very fond of the character Discord. I can't blame him, folks. If you were here for the 6th episode we did, you'll know how I feel about Discord. Which, there's one announcement I do need to make, but I'll get to that in a second. And to be honest, I can't wait until we get to season 2, because I really want to start talking about those opener episodes again. That was a lot of fun to do, and I can't wait to do it again. Sort of, but still, I can't wait till we get there. One thing I want to bring up, Livestream did some inventory of my work, which really makes me question why I'm still working with them, with their software and whatnot. So they cleaned out some of my earlier work. Thankfully, I have it on recording though, so when I get the time, trust me, this week has been a nightmare for me, but when I get the time, I will get all these earlier episodes uploaded and updated, so shouldn't have to worry too much about that. I did get episode 6 in, but the link on the archives pages is incorrect, so like I said, I'll get it fixed one of these days, shortly enough. Alright, this next one is by, let me get it. This next one is called Kiriben, Princess Celestia. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. By Gray Radian. Here is the link. This is also another one that she knows how to use lighting. And one of the things that I had to give extra props to is the fact that there's a lot of sparkling in this. Yeah, I know, Twilight jokes aside. But one of the things that I've always loved about some of the artists I follow is because one of the biggest reasons I follow the artists I do is because they have a knack for seeing the detail. They don't just skim over things, they put the attention where it deserves it. And the sole fact that they can do that goes to show the skills they have. That's one of the reasons why, like I said, I follow the artists that I do. This not on the other hand, this is an example of that. You might want to look into her. She's done some other pony work, and I think one of my favorites that I still have yet to favorite from her is that Shining Armor and Princess Cadence one. But that might just be because I'm a bit of a fan with those two, but my personal bias aside. This is Princess Celestia by Gray Radian. All right, now this next one, and our last bit of art for the week, for now anyway, is by Tan575, called The Bad Guy Roll. It's a comic. So now you get to listen to my terrible, Death Pony I have checked out his work, and I really need to watch him. But problem is, I think I do, but I don't have him friended or anything. But yeah, I will. I definitely need to and will look into him. What was it I was going to say? Oh, I remember now. This was commissioned, he specifically requested that I say this. This was commissioned by CSI Mad Max. So at the end of this, by the way, here's the link to this comic. Yes. I will link you to her webpage as well. So, like I said, it was as per his request. Anyway, are you all ready for my terrible impersonations? Let's do this. Help! Save me! I'll save you, princess. My hero! At your service, princess. Why do I always have to play the bad guy? Adorableness is over 9,000. And as promised, here is her DeviantArt account. Definitely someone to keep an eye on if you aren't. I am. All right, now we get into the videos. We've got a good one. Some of these are, no, they're all good. What am I thinking? Okay, first one, I think we're just going to start with the quickest. This one is by our good friend Rena Chan. This is Cloud Chaser's voice test. Just as it sounds, it's a voice test for oh, she doesn't really say, but anyway, let's listen, shall we?
Finally home. Huh? What's that? Make a wish to Flitter and Cloud Chaser from Luna. Oh gosh, a present from the princess herself. I gotta show this to Flitter. I wish she were home already. I don't know, but I think he wants money. Yeah, about that. Flitter, what's happening? Your door was open. We're going to visit Manhattan. It's going to be so awesome. If you say so. We get that a lot. But even though we look very similar, we're not related. I think that's a yes. Flitter, look, it's Raindrops. Flitter does both our mains. She's amazing.
Cloud Chaser voice test by Rena Chan, aka Melee Princess. Here's a link. You can find all her lines. All her lines were from askflitterandcloudchaser.tumblr.com. It's in the link. I'm not going to show it or link it. Now, this next one is by another good friend, Allie Oopster27, called Berry Punch My Shiny Bottle in Me. I'm guessing last week we showed what was it? Where Rena sang My Shiny Teeth and Me, the Fairly Odd Parents song in Colgate's voice. Now we've got Berry Punch singing My Shiny Bottle in Me. Sorry about that. Here we go.
When I'm feeling lonely, sad as I can be, all by myself on an uncharted island, an endless sea. What makes me happy fills me up with glee. There's bottles in my heart that make me so aloof. My shiny bottle that me, my shiny bottle that bubbles, just like the ponies in the sea. My shiny bottle that fizzles, adding acid to my face. My shiny bottle that glistens like hear me sing. Woo! A shiny bottle and me. No, I'm not so sober, so come and sue me, Hasbro. Sip, swig, repeat, a couple of rum shots. My shiny bottle and me. My shiny bottle's so awesome, just like my favorite beer. My shiny bottles, I love them. I forgot the lyrics to the song. My shiny bottle, I love them, and they all love me. Why should I talk to you when I got Captain Moo? Woo! A shiny bottle and me. A shiny bottle and me. Woohoo! Come on, guys, you can sing this. Woohoo! Oh, toss me some of that. My shiny bottle that bubbles, just like the ponies in the sea. My shiny bottle that fizzles, adding awesome to my face. My shiny bottle that glistens, just like a Christmas tree. You know they walk a mile just to hear me sing. Woo! My shiny bottle and me. Woo! Should do that again, guys.
Huh. Had a minor hiccup there, but anyway, we're back now. Here's the link. And finally, we'll move on to our last one. This next one is by a newcomer on here. Yeah, Kuro, check out Melee Princess. I just gave you the Cloud Chaser test. Check out her video on that. Now then, where was I? Oh, yes. Okay. Mike, what are you talking about here? Okay, I did get it in. Good, good, good. Yeah, sometimes I fear I don't link into it, and that's, oops. Okay, okay. Last video here. This one is called Ponies vs. Machines by Sakojima5555. By the way, I'll warn you, if you can't hear this one, tell me, because some of the audio balance isn't exactly great. But if you can still hear it and hear the voices, hear everything fine, fine. But if you can't, just tell me, all right? All right, let's do this.
Oh, good gravy.
What are you looking at? I'm dead.
That was easy.
Hey, look at me, Ma. I am a robot. Beep, boop. Robot noises. Piece of peace. Fuck!
An enormously huge entire town in total chaos. Princesses to come and save the day problem.
I love the ending. Move! Ah! Oh, this won't be the last time we hear of him. I sure hope not. Pony vs. Machine by Sakojima 5555. Like I said, was that... Could you guys hear that okay? I'll take that as I was bored to tears. I jest. Oh, one other thing before we move on. We got a game this time around for once. This one is Canterlot Defense. You probably saw it, but I'll bring it up, of course. It's a Flash game. Canterlot Defense by Swoma F Gamer, or Swomuf Gamer. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. So I apologize if you're watching this, and would you come up? Sorry. I'm just going to show it to you. I'm not going to play it. Select your character.
Is there some sort of epic pony war in the distant future or
Start it up.
something?
Yeah. You can upgrade your stuff, and it gets pretty complex. I played through the whole thing as Rainbow Dash. Here's the link. And mind you, that was the easiest setting. I just wanted to get through everything. But each character has their own unique traits and abilities. Yeah, I agree with the what it said. Yeah, like I said, every character is unique, and some of them range from easy. Like I said, Rainbow Dash was the easy one. I intentionally picked it because I wanted to see through it. But check it out. It's like I said, it's a good Flash game. If you're just bored and have no other game to play, or just want to support a good person, check this out. All right, now that is the last of it. So, Mike, what was it you were going to say? Oh, by the way, feel free to play the game while I just sit here and babble. I can't click the link, but so you're going to have to explain it to me. Okay. Really? How so? If you want to explain it in video, I've got the video link up. Just scroll down and get in line. Okay, fair enough. Oh, okay. Um, okay. We'll keep an eye on that then, or at least I will for sure, and I'll look into it nonetheless. But Coolio. Okay, that I can do that. I can that I can do. All right. Well, since we got all this done, shall we go to the episode then? I think we should, unless anyone has any objection or they have something else to say. Just need to adjust the sound.
Hmm. Perfect.
Just take the broken limbs down, Rarity. Don't y'all care about nothing other than prettifying?
Some pony has to. You are making an absolute mess of the town square, Applejack.
Yeah, well, the storm's gonna make an even bigger mess if we don't prune all these loose branches so they don't tumble down on any pony.
I simply cannot imagine why the Pegasus ponies would schedule a dreadful downpour this evening and ruin what could have been a glorious sunny day.
Think more practical-like, will ya? They accidentally skipped a scheduled sprinkle last week, so we need a doozy of a downpour to make up for it is all.
Oh no! My wonderfully styled mane shall be ruined!
You should have hurried up and finished the job already.
Oh, it's coming down too fast! Help me!
There. Hunker down to your heart's content whilst I finish things.
Oh, no, no, no!
What now?
I'd prefer not to get my hooves muddy.
Gah, there is just no pleasing you, is there? Everything's gotta be just so.
Well, and how does muddying my hooves serve any useful purpose?
Y'all wouldn't know useful if it came up and bit you.
That doesn't even make any sense.
Does so.
Does not.
Does so.
Does not.
Does so.
Does not.
Does so infinity. Ha!
Does not infinity plus one. What say we go our separate ways before one of us says something she will regret?
I reckon y'all are gonna say something you'll regret first.
On the contrary, I believe it shall most certainly be you who says something you will regret first.
I'm not saying anything.
Nor am I.
Y'all just be on your way then.
After you! Perhaps we should stick together for now and find some shelter.
Uh-huh. Perhaps we should. And fast.
My little pony, my little
Tons of fun.
A beautiful heart, faithful and strong.
Sharing kindness.
It's an easy feat, and magic makes it all complete. You have mine. Did you know you're all my very best friends?
Nice and dry under here. Sorta.
Oh, unacceptable.
Applejack! Applejack! Dirty!
Twilight?
Come inside, girls, quick.
Whoa, Nellie. Is inside a tree really the best place to be in a lightning storm?
It is if you have a magical lightning rod protecting your home like I do. Come on in.
We are most grateful for your invitation.
Thank you kindly for your hospitality.
Do be a polite house guest and go wash up, please, won't you?
If I gotta spend one more second with that bus budget rarity today, I can't be held responsible for what I'm gonna do.
Some storm, huh? The Pegasus ponies sure have outdone themselves this time. I hope you and Applejack don't have any trouble getting home.
It may indeed be a problem.
Well, you're welcome to stay if need be. Spike is away in Canterlot on royal business. I'm home all alone tonight. You and Applejack should totally sleep over. We'll have a slumber party. I've always wanted one of those.
Oh, goodness. I do believe I have another engagement scheduled for this evening that completely slipped my mind until just now. Oh, silly me. I can't possibly stay here all night with Applejack. Slumber 101. All you've ever wanted to know about slumber parties but were afraid to ask.
My own personal copy. It's a fantastic reference guide. You should see the table of contents. I've been waiting for a chance to use it, and today's the day. This is gonna be so great.
Yes, great.
What in tarnation? Now, wait just a gall-darn minute. You make me wash the mud off my hoofs, but it's okay for y'all to have mud all over your faces?
Silly. This is called a mud mask. It's to refresh and rejuvenate your complexion.
We're giving each other makeovers. We have to do it. It says so in the book.
Slumber 101, everything you... Oh, hey, would you look at the time? I gotta skedaddle on home quick. I'm powerful late for something. Good night. Or maybe I'll sit here for a spell.
Hooray, slumber party!
Ugh. What in the world is this for?
To reduce the puffiness around one's eyes, of course.
Puffiness, schmuffiness. That's good eating.
Isn't this exciting? We'll do everything by the book, and that will make my slumber party officially fun.
Did you hear that, Applejack? You certainly would not want to do anything that would ruin Twilight's very first slumber party, would you?
Of course not. You wouldn't either, I reckon.
So do we have an agreement?
You betcha.
Oh, gross! You know, there's messy and there's just plain rude.
You know, there's fussy and there's just plain getting on my nerves.
Fortunately, I can get along with any pony, no matter how difficult she may be.
Oh, yeah? Well, I'm the get-alongingest pony you ever gonna meet.
That's not even a word.
This is gonna be the bestest slumber party ever! Yay!
Yay.
So, how are you getting along over there, Applejack?
Just fine, Rarity.
This is so awesome! Makeovers, check. Ooh, it says here we have to tell ghost stories. Who wants to go first?
Me! I'd like to tell y'all the terrifying tale of the prissy ghost who drove every pony crazy with their unnecessary neatness. I'm sure y'all are familiar with that one.
Never heard of it, but I have a much better one. It's the horrifying story of the messy, inconsiderate ghost who irritated every pony within 100 miles. Ooh!
That's not a real story. You made it up.
It is a ghost story. They're all made up.
I've got one. This story is called The Legend of the Headless Horse. It was a dark and stormy night, just like this one, and 3 ponies were having a slumber party, just like this one. And just when the last pony thought she was safe, there, standing right behind her, just inches away was the Headless Horse! Ghost story? Check. Now, who wants s'mores?
Then you place 1 marshmallow on the top of the chocolate and be sure it's centered, that's critical, and then carefully put another perfectly square graham cracker on the top. And done! Ta-da!
Ooh.
Nah, you just ate them.
You could at least say excuse me.
Oh, I was just about to, but you interrupted me. Pardon.
S'mores? Check. Now, the next item of fun we have to do is Truth or Dare.
I dare Applejack to do something carefully and neatly for a change.
Oh, yeah? Well, I dare Rarity to lighten up and stop obsessing over every last little detail for a change.
I think the truth of the matter is that some pony could stand to pay a little more attention to detail.
And I think the truth is some pony ought to quit with her fussing so the rest of us can get things done.
I don't think this is how the game's supposed to work. You have to give an honest answer to any question or do whatever any pony dares you to do.
I dares you to step outside and let your precious tidy mane get ruined again.
You have to. It's the rule.
Ha!
Fine. Okay, I dare Applejack to play dress up in a frou-frou, glittery, lacy outfit.
Happy?
Fairy,
Do I ever get a turn?
I dare you to enter the next rodeo when it comes to town.
I dare you not to enter the next rodeo that comes to town.
I dare you to not comb your mane 100 times before bed.
And I dare you to comb yours just once.
I think we should check off Truth or Dare and move on. Let's see what our next fun thing is, shall we? What does this mean? Pillow fight?
Oh, please. I am not at all interested in participating in something so crude. Oh! It is on.
Oh, I get it. Pillow fight. Fun. Girls, maybe we should take it down a notch.
I will if she will.
She started it.
Maybe we should just call it a night and get some sleep.
Keep your muddy hoofs on your side of the bed.
My hooves ain't muddy.
They were. There might still be a little on them.
They're right. See? Now who's being inconsiderate?
I have to make the bed again so the blanket will be right. Get up!
Hey!
You'll ruin it. You have to do it like this.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Geronimo!
Hey! You did that on purpose.
Yeah?
Get up so I can fix it again.
Can't hear you.
I'm asleep. Shoo. Shoo.
I ain't budging.
You will if you want any blanket.
Give it back! I will not! Yes, you will! Not will! Not will! Not will!
Enough! It says right here that the number one thing you're supposed to do at a slumber party is have fun. And thanks to you two, I can't check that off.
I've been trying my darndest to get along.
No, it is I who have been trying my best.
No, it was me.
No, it was I.
Me! I hope you're happy. Both of you. You've ruined my very first slumber party. The makeover, the s'mores, truth or dare, the pillow fight. I mean, is there anything else that could possibly go wrong? Sorry I asked.
You see? That's why we needed to take down all those loose branches in town. Not spiffy 'em up. But out of my way, Missy. Time's a waste.
Wait, stop! Don't!
No waiting! No stopping! Going! And that, my friends, is what we call getting her done.
I tried to tell you it would come crashing down in here.
Well, you should have tried harder. I'm mighty sorry, Twilight.
It's not okay. There's a giant tree branch in the middle of my bedroom. And the book doesn't say anything about having a giant tree branch at your slumber party. Or at least I haven't found that entry yet.
What in tarnation are y'all doing over there?
Cleaning up this mess some pony made. Who was that again? Oh, right, that's you.
We gotta do something.
Thinking, BFFs, brothers, there's nothing in here about branches.
Rarity for pony's sake. Stop quitting the small stuff and help me get rid of this thing. I said hustle over here and help me. Look, I'm sorry, all right?
What was that?
I said I'm sorry. I should have listened to you when you noticed where this here branch would end up. Your annoying attention to detail would have saved us from this whole mess. But right now, you need to stop being so dang fussy picking up all those little things and help me move the one big thing in here that actually matters. Please.
But I'll get all icky.
Consarn it. What the... yes, ickiness is often a side effect of hard work. But y'all need to get over it on account of I just can't fix this mess I made myself. I need your help.
Let's do this.
Well, they do have a section about backyard slumber parties. Is that what we're doing right now? Does this count as camping?
Better?
Thanks.
Oh, pretty. Where did these come from? They're not in the book either.
Is it bigger than a barn?
Nope.
Is it smaller than a saddle?
No, only 3 of your 20 questions left.
Oh, we're never gonna guess what you're thinking of. It could be anything.
Are we getting warmer?
Why? Is it too cold in here for you? I can turn up the heat.
She means, are we getting any closer with our guesses?
Oh, no. And that technically counted as a question, so only 2 more left.
Is it a 6-legged pony with a purple polka-dotted mane and shooting stars coming out of his eyes?
Who flies through the air all over the world to hide magic sparkly eggs?
That's it!
It is?
No. It's that. But it was just so nice to see you two finally getting along. I wanted you to be able to win together. See? We could have been having fun like this all along.
If only some pony hadn't been so persnickety.
Well, maybe she wouldn't have been if some pony else hadn't been so slubby.
Sorry for being such a pain in the patootie.
Oh, no, I'm sure I was much worse.
That's kind of you to say, but I'm the one who's sorry.
Oh, I'm much more sorry than you are.
Are not.
Are two,
Are not.
are two,
Are not.
are two.
I declare my first slumber party a success.
Yeah!
Have fun? Check.
Now take 2 steps to your left. No, my left.
Which is it? Whoa! That mess is your fault, not mine.
Sorry.
Dear Princess Celestia, it's hard to believe that 2 ponies who seem to have so little in common could ever get along. But I found out that if you embrace each other's differences, you just might be surprised to discover a way to be friends after all. So, who's up for another slumber party tomorrow night? How about a week from Thursday? Oh, how about 2 weeks from Saturday? A month from now?
Ladies and gentlemen, Season 1, Episode 8. So, what are your guys' initial thoughts and comments? This episode, to me, is easily one of my favorites of Season 1. Why? Well, for starters, the one thing I noticed when I first watched this right away is just how, you may have not caught in the text, but I said it was that opening tension and how it just grows and grows and grows from there. First off, I want to state that when they show it in the intro like that, and this isn't the first time they do that. They'll be doing it a few more times, and I'll make note of them. But one of the things that I liked is, like I said, they establish that AJ and Rarity don't get along well in this episode. So it's definitely an early one, but I digress. Anyway, they they don't get along. It doesn't feel forced, and what I like is that they establish it early enough that we don't have to go through the episode itself, at the sleepover, and we don't have to go through to get to Twilight's treehouse and then start it up. I like that they establish it right away because that's the central focus of the episode. Speaking of the introduction, though, just some random facts I want to note. This episode has the smallest cast of season 1, not only of the main 6, but of all the ponies in general. We just have our three of the main 6, which this is also the first episode in which there are no characters are present, and or which some of the main cast was not present. Spike is named, but of course he's not there, and Pinky, Fluttershy, and Rainbow Dash are never even mentioned. But anyway, this is the smallest cast of season 1. This episode also is the first clue of how the weather works in Equestria. It isn't. They elaborate on it better in, of course, episode 16, but just it gives you an idea that much like the sun and moon, it's semi-mechanical. Ashley Ball would be RD and AJ's voice, Kuro Derpy. Yep. Tara Strong, Tabitha St. Germain, and Ashley Ball. Andrea Libman was not needed for this episode, in other words. And Kathy Weaslek as well, but that's Spike's voice actress. Anyway, as I was saying, in the intro part, one of the things... They established the tension early, and this is I could definitely tell right away when I first saw this one that this was going to be the enemies in a box scenario. They do this more often than not in some shows, and I always usually like these episodes because you get your protagonist and usually the big antagonist in a box. They can't kill each other for whatever reason, but of course they hate each other's guts. And of course they usually spend the whole episode saying, "I hate your guts. I hate yours more," or something like that. And then by the end of it, they realize we have to work together if we ever want to get out of this box. It's great, especially if it's done really well, because of the tension that can build. And in this case, it succeeds in my book. Like I said, when I first saw this, I knew it was going to get tense, but at this point in the game, I was not sure how well it would play out. And in my humble opinion, it works perfectly, or at least almost perfectly. Why? 1, it escalates slowly throughout the I'm reading your comment, Kuro Derpy. Yeah, it depends on the perspective. And like I said, in this opening, we established that they don't like each other. So that's kind of already done by this point. And then, of course, as we start working inwards towards the episode, it only gets worse and worse. Agreed. Anyway, as I was saying, one of the things I want to note is Charlotte Fullerton wrote this episode, so I'm going to, I guess, put my directions towards her for the moment. I want to say thank you for using Rarity and Applejack. And do you know why? Because out of all the combinations, of the just 2 pony combinations, I think these 2 are perfect for such an episode. AJ is of course, views the world on a more macroscopic scale, so details are not something she really cares about. I mean, why should she? Living on a farm, all you do is you do the work. You don't try and strike the tree at a pinpoint spot. You just kick the tree and watch the apples fall down. Kick it again if you have to. The apples fall down, you pick them up, you bring them to the storage bin, or something to that effect anyway. The point I'm trying to make is details are superfluous. Rarity, on the other hand, is the exact opposite. Being a sewer tailor, I guess, for lack of better terms, or whatever it is anyway, she has to pay attention to detail because one slip up, one mess, one tiny, tiny mistake, and the whole outfit itself is ruined. Just so imagine putting these two together. That's all you're going to get. Where someone who doesn't concern about details is working with someone who does concern about details. That's part of the reason why I like, first off, I like these two, and second, that I like this episode. It's the combination of them. Twilight, you could say, was forced in there because at this point in the game they had to, but we'll get there when we get to Season 2, Episode 3. But I will give credit, this one does make sense why she would be there. And, what was it I was going to say? So how did you, I guess I propose a question. Part of the problem with that one, Kuro Derpy, is Discord is stoned, or petrified is a better term, because if he was stoned, I know what y'all are thinking. Don't try and deny it. I know what you're thinking. He's petrified anyway, and it would be really inconsistent if he was released from it. But I don't really want to talk about that in that respect, because we'll get there when we I know I walked into that one. Anyway, what was it I was going to say? We'll talk about Discord more when we get closer to him again. But anyway, so the episode goes on, and you really do start to see kind of their a more public place than before. She so would. Why? Come see the villain that we defeated again in a humiliating shocked pose. Anyway, what was it I was going to say? Oh yeah. What's really nice about this episode too is, like I said, it gets tenser, but we also get a feeling of their lifestyle. AJ is not exactly the cleanest of ponies, and that's not a bad thing. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. But again, living on a farm, she's going to not be too concerned about getting muddy and then cleaning it off immediately. Eventually she will. Yeah. I mean, who likes to be dirty except maybe a 6-year-old in the mud, but even eventually they have to get clean. They will clean themselves up, but by choice or by force, I don't know. But point I'm trying to make is AJ is fine being dirty. And we'll see this again in episode 19, but we'll get there when we get there. Rarity, on the other hand, can't stand mud to save her life. But we'll see to it at the end of the episode. We'll get there in a second. But it's just like everything about these two clashes. And not in a good way. They just keep rubbing each other the wrong way, and as the episode goes on, all they do is just get angrier and angrier. Until, of course, finally, we reach the pillow fight scene, where it basically I see what you did there, Kuro Derpy. Until eventually, like I say, we get to the pillow fight scene. This is just before the climax of the episode. Wherein it finally stops being verbal and starts getting physical. This is where well, like I said, it just starts to get nasty. So of course they then finally go to bed. And here's where the climax comes in, people. Ignore that one. Now of course they're forced to sleep in the same bed together because, only two of them. Which I want to propose. Why does Spike sleep in a little basket when there's that spare bed? That's almost demeaning. Like, Spike, you're not a pony. Sleep in this dog bed. Or something like that. Or something like that anyway. Ebroni. Yeah, I'd say something akin to that. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah. So of course now they're forced to sleep, like I said, in the same bed together, and of course they're about as tickled about it as, well, they're not. Of course, Rarity even has a procedure for sleeping. These beds are nasty, so you pretty much, or not nasty in the sense of gross, but in the sense of your sheets move all over the place, so you do have to develop a sense of a routine. But AJ, on the other hand, would just rather crawl in and crawl into bed, messy as it is, doesn't matter, and just snooze. Finally, Twilight, of course, yells at them and incites Murphy's Law. Or if anything, is there anything that can possibly else go wrong? Right on cue, the lightning strike. When I first saw this episode, that's what I said to myself. I said, oh yeah, you just incited it. There you go. It just got worse. Congratulations, Twilight. Your wish came true. How do you feel? And this point is where these two worlds, Rarity and AJ's, blend, not clashing, but in a harmony. And this is an example, folks, of showing, not telling. One of the things I will always give this episode a star for, a star sticker, or whatever you want to call it, is the sole fact that they use the tree branch as a means of, I guess, compromise or allowing Rarity and AJ to get along, for lack of better terms. I figured that Twilight blowing up at them would have done it, which would have been fine, but in my humble opinion, that seems like it's more telling. It's just halfway cliched and halfway lazy, which is bad both ways. So you're combining a worst of both worlds mentality. Anyway, but they use the smart method of allowing the tree to act as where they must put their differences aside, because Rarity won't touch the thing and Applejack alone can't get it out. And before anyone says anything about Twilight, this we'll get into in a second here, but just work with me here for a second. The fault of it is AJ did not see the small details. And of course, her stubborn pride got in the way, with Rarity saying, don't pull it in, don't pull on it. Her stubborn pride got in the way, and what happened? She pulled it in. She didn't listen. Her lack of an attention to detail brought the tree in. Good job. Good move. But, as I said earlier, Rarity, of course, with the tree in, won't touch the thing because she'd get icky, which is, I'll say that's part of her personality, but not in the sense of it's a clash with AJ's, because that was an attention to detail that would have saved him, as AJ pointed out. But anyway, I digress. So she does the stuff that doesn't get her dirty, which works. I mean, stuff has to be cleaned up eventually. But the problem falls under she's unwilling to see, as AJ put it, help me with the one thing that truly matters. Her fussiness allows her to get blinds her to that. So she must then say, all right, let's do it, which she does. So they put the best of both worlds together here. AJ sees the big picture, and Rarity eventually sees what needs to be worked on. And in the end, they're able to shrink the trees down to the little figures. And that big trunk that's left, which I think was just a nice icing on the cake here. AJ then, Rarity stares at her and says, don't just shoot the big limb here out into space. Drop it. They both learn to eventually see the big picture. And I can't say where this comes back. I wish I could. Where they learn from each other. I can't say exactly where, but maybe we'll see it in the future. But for now, I will say that they did learn something from each other. I will say that them compromising taught them both each other's greatest virtue. Or in this episode's case anyway, one of their greatest virtues. Now, onto Twilight, I just want to say this might have been, the purpose of her was they had to take her out of the picture. They had to get her out of the maybe I should come with a spoiler warning, Brony. But hey, the rules do say I already assume that you've seen the old episodes, so it's not like I didn't already come with a warning. Anyways, I was saying about Twilight. The thing about Twilight is she needed to be taken out of the picture. She couldn't, because yeah, she could have just probably shrunk it down or something anyway. But the focus was we needed AJ and Rarity to work together. So it's kind of forced, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. Why? Being such a bookworm that she is, Twilight would go into her sleepover book and ask about such a thing. Because, do it by the book, or something like that anyway. It's Twilight at her best, in my humble opinion. That's just me. And finally, at the end, after the tree branch is removed, like I said, Rarity and AJ get along. And we do see this from time to time throughout the rest of the episodes. For one, check out Season 2, Episode 20. It's About Time. Who's working on fixing up the dam? Rarity and AJ. In Episode 14, who agrees to, mind you, that might just be for storytelling purposes, but I'll count it here. Season 1, Episode 14, doesn't AJ agree to help Rarity with her fashion show? Amongst the others, but you get the idea. I personally like to think that you're thinking of the Ne'er-Do-Well episode, Kuro Derpy. Like I said, check out Season 2, Episode 20 and see what I mean. Anyway, as I was saying, I like to think that this episode really set the stage for a lot of set the stage for a better relationship amongst these two. And I like that. It's something a lot of people in our world can take to heart. This is, I want to stress the lesson here as well. You'd be amazed in my experience, and I'm just going to kind of get a little sentimental and whatnot on you guys, but I'll make it quick, I promise. People see differences in others and they instantaneously write them off. It happens to me. I'm sure it's happened to you. It sickens me. But why focus on those differences if they could be potentially put to something good? Everyone has a different opinion and is entitled to it, or skill. And just because it's a different skill doesn't mean it's bad. As a matter of fact, sometimes you might be able to find a way to combine your skills into something greater than both of you alone. The trick is, true, Kuro Derpy, true. The trick is, don't write them off just because they're different. Does that mean everyone who's different is good? No. Some people are rotten to the core. But just because someone believes or has a different background, does that instantaneously make them bad? And that's about all I really have to say. Agreed, Kuro Derpy. Agreed, 100%. I know I've been kind of babbling about this episode, or this Babble with Bronies episode. I've been kind of like that, so I apologize. But the more I went over this episode and tried to break it down into, what I usually do, I analyze and analyze and reanalyze. There's not much to this episode. It's just telling a good story. But that's not a bad thing. Sometimes I find the best stories can be the simplest. And guess what? I want to hear it if it's executed perfectly. But my question now goes to you. You guys have anything to say? Anything. Well, in relationship to the episode, but anything to say about the episode do you guys have? Like, you want to talk about or need to speculate? Anything. Anything about the episode. Yeah, I agree with you there, Kuro Derpy. Like I said, it's not riddled with um, it's not riddled with any new philosophical dilemmas or introduces anything much that most people who've been alive for more than 10 years haven't seen. But yeah, just because it's not new doesn't mean it can't be executed well. Well, better now than in season two. I'll say that much. That's for sure. It's good water. What was it? Just out of curiosity, what is it about it that doesn't make it your favorite episode, Kuro Derpy? You're not the only one here who would agree to that. Uh, starts with a D, as in Dover, Dallas. Anything else, folks? Because I'll probably be closing the show down here shortly. Otherwise, yeah, it's always funny. While I wait for you guys to comment, these Wednesday episodes, I've always advertised them as they would only last about an hour at the most. They almost always instead end up about the normal 2 hour length. Okay. I don't think all these episodes. How do I want to put this? I would agree with that, Kuro Derpy, that in order to do that, that'd be pretty heavy. However, if there is one thing that I hope this show does in terms of to others, it's it might not even change their life. It might not make them reconsider choices, as you put it. But maybe even if they've heard the story 100 times, maybe this time, the 101st time, yeah, that's just what I was going to say, Abroni. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, by the way, both of you. But what was it I was going to say? Yeah, like I said, they've heard it 100 times, the same story, but maybe this time they'll take a look into it and maybe consider it. They might not consider it much, if at all. Thank you. But they'll take a look at these and say, maybe there's something I could do different in my life to make it better or make it better for others. I hope they do. I really hope they do. All right. Anything else? 'Cause I think I will close it down here in a couple minutes. Or not a couple minutes, but I think I'll close it down unless I hear otherwise. I'm reading your comment, Kuro Derpy, and I am agreeing to it. And if anything, I would think that most people, I say most, of course, most people will probably, they probably don't need it from the sense of, well, like I said, they just don't need it because we've seen it already. But, Ebrony, you'd be surprised. Sometimes, yeah, it's a sitcom, but you'd be surprised which ones can get pretty heavy on the morals. Take, I don't know if you're familiar with the American comedy Scrubs, but take a look into it if you get the chance, if you haven't already. There's some pretty morally heavy episodes in that one. They're not many. Most of it is just to tell a story of doctors, but it's a really good, it's a really well written show. It's one of the better ones that I've seen in a long time. Okay, you have, but there's an example of a sitcom that does have some morality to it. But anyway, one thing I want to keep elaborating and basically, well, elaborating and making more pointless through superfluous dialogue is Kurobo. I'm thinking of Kurobo production. I apologize, folks. Kuro Derpy's statement there. I don't think at this point a lot of us need most of these lessons, especially some of the more common ones like this one. But you're absolutely right. When they can retell it, especially if they can retell it in a better way, through a better format or overall better execution, that is that's what makes it so interesting. Because, well, you know the reason behind that. Let me think. I'll get back to you on that in a second there, Ebrony, or Ebrony. But for now, I think we'll wrap it up here, folks. All right. Join us again next week on the, let's see, 13th. I don't know what we'll be doing right then, but, well, I'm probably going to, we're probably going to watch episode 9 and basically just keep going through the list. Join us again for all you Zakora fans. No, it's going to be Saturday. The Saturday is the 13th. I said on Saturday the 13th. But yeah, Wednesday episodes are when we can't broadcast on that week's Saturday. So we'll be broadcasting again next week on our normal time. It's Saturday. Same time, 3 o'clock Central Standard. That's 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Universal Time Code -4 with Daylight Savings Time in effect here. And same place. You have the website, so just check our Twitter account. We've got a Facebook page. We keep a lot of updates on those in terms of, especially in terms of episodes and episode times. Keep your ears close to those if you really want to stay in the loop on here. Yeah, the old Batman sign off. Other than that, just hope to see you next Saturday. Farewell and keep going.